En junkerred ved juletid.
Ching chang ching nu til dig.
Omkring ham dannede sneen hvid.
Ching chang ching nu til dig.
So, welcome to the topic of the episode show, Totes, as we call it. Yes, join us. This is a community show. So, topic of the episode show is a weekly show where we give you a topic the previous week. You tell us what you think about the topic, and then we discuss what you told us. And we don't say that you're wrong. That's one thing that we do here.
Yeah, these are opinion based.
They're opinion based. No one's wrong. We want to hear your opinion on our topic. And this week's topic was your favorite game on your first console.
Yeah. And I like that because it kind of shows the breadth of the different times when people start playing. And I think that when you start playing games, it really does tend to influence the types of games that you enjoy and how you approach gaming.
Yeah.
So our first answer was Karen Green, who said Atari Barnstorming. She says it's the original Flappy Bird. I've never even heard of this game. I'm really curious. But original Flappy Bird. All right.
So
I mean, it's
apparently a plain, like she said, a original Flappy Bird, but a plain game where you're evading birds and such.
Well, yeah, with a biplane, you have to.
You're gonna have to. I think that I like this. I like this topic because there are games that hearing someone's favorite on their first console. So it's not what's your favorite console, because then you can really select. But to say what is your favorite game on a console, so my first console that I technically was mine would have been the NES.
Okay.
I played my brother's Atari, but my memories were very young when I played the Atari and the ColecoVision. Mm-hmm. And my memories were really young, and it wasn't clicking on how to accomplish things in Pitfall and other games. So the NES was my first, and I would like to say, I think that it's a cheap thing to say it, but the Mario All-Stars is what I'd want to say there, but that's a collection.
And it's also not on the Nintendo.
It's on the sorry, Mario 3. Mario 3 would be there because Mario All-Stars is on the Super Nintendo.
Yep.
So Mario 3 would be my answer, but I feel like that's the safe bet. I feel like that's what a lot of people are going to say when it comes to the NES. You got Castlevania, and you have a lot of great games on here, but I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES.
See, and I can hear it.
It was good. It was difficult, which I think, like you said, that's what I grew up playing. So now, if it's a challenging, difficult game, I get angry. Well, not angry, but I get frustrated. I may rage quit, but I'll come back like 15 minutes later. I'm going to do it. So I think that was one of the games that did that, because between this and Castlevania and Silver Surfer, there are a lot of ridiculously hard games on the NES.
Absolutely.
And that was probably my favorite on the NES, if you don't count Mario, because I feel like Mario is the cheap answer. I want not a deep cut, but something substantial here.
Yeah. I'm actually going deeper cut.
Okay.
Legacy of the Wizard on Nintendo. That is a really weird and obscure game.
I thought you were going to say Big Nose.
Big Nose is pretty awesome. But Legacy of the Wizard, you have like an entire family. You have the mom, the dad, the son, the daughter, the pet, the grandma and granddad to pick from. And you can pick any of those characters and go out, and they all have their different strengths and weaknesses. Like the daughter can like jump super high. The dad's the one who can use like the most powerful equipment. Okay. The mom has extra health. The pet though is invincible to damage from monsters.
So, are most of your enemies monsters?
Yeah. But the amount of, like, everybody has certain items that they can use, so you can only use Poochie to get into certain areas.
Okay.
Like there are places that he can't get to, and he can't use like the extra boosting jumping power. So like, you can only get to and beat the first boss with Poochie. Then you have to lug all your equipment back and go, and so like he's good for getting gold and stuff like that. But then after the first little bit, then you really you have to pick somebody else and take that stuff.
Makes sense.
And we played that all the time.
Yeah,
it was just a lot of fun. And then the second one is Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus,
which
yeah.
I have a tragic story about that one. I borrowed it from a friend of mine's older brother.
Okay.
And I brought it to church to return it after I thought I probably couldn't get away with borrowing it anymore.
Okay.
And it got stolen at church. And I went up to him and I was like, I don't know where it went. I don't have your game anymore. I will figure out how to take it. And he was like, oh yeah, I forgot I loaned that to you. Yeah, I was just going to have you keep it.
All the guilt and the grief for nothing.
Yeah, and the loss of a game, because if I had never brought it,
you
I
could
would
have
have still had it.
Yeah, that's a classic game too. I will say that I did not name Legend of Zelda when I was talking about the NES.
Yeah.
Because I never owned a copy of it. I played it briefly. Like, I played it at friends' houses. The first time that I played it by myself and was given however much time you want to do it, was in college. It was frustrating. I wasn't using a walkthrough, and it's a great game, but I didn't want to put that on as my favorite because it's not part of my childhood.
Yeah.
As much as Zelda on the N64 is, the Zelda on the NES was not part of it, and it would be unethical for me to name that as a favorite when it's not. So.
Because it wasn't it's from your first console,
Yes.
but it wasn't your favorite when you had your first console.
Yeah, because
it's tricky. We throw all kinds of random rules at ourselves.
I want to be as honest as possible here.
We have a couple more answers though. We have Chris White says Pitfall 2 on the Atari 2600. It really was ahead of its time.
It was ahead of its time. Again, we're showing how the difference in here, because mine was the NES, his was the Atari, and I think the Atari 2600 was an amazing console, and they were starting to push the boundaries of what gaming could do, and the NES just completely knocked it. But Pitfall 2 is great because Pitfall is very limited. Pitfall 2 really pushed the boundaries in regards to gameplay and graphics for the 2600. It's a great one. Jake mentioned the first console being the Super Nintendo, and no surprise, bring up his favorite is Super Mario RPG, and close second is Kirby Superstar. I think Super Mario RPG is a great game, and I would like more of that. I mean, there's a reason that South Park is doing Super Mario RPG in South Park. It's that good.
And it's really amazing how much is crammed into that game, because you've got this is the only game that Mitsuda and Uematsu both scored. They worked together on the score for this.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you've got them and Koji Kondo all collaborating. Like, the three of those have the best music out of that time.
Yeah.
And they work together.
Yeah. By the way, the new Mario has amazing music. Whitney and I have been playing it and just listening to it. It's so good.
Odyssey is pretty great.
So diverse too in the styles, because you're going to different worlds.
Yeah.
And it's kept that diversity. I'm really liking it.
I'm looking forward to someday. And Arya and Nora, if you're watching this, at some point way in the future, comment and or actually give me a call and let me know, but also comment, because I would love to know what their in the future their first console was the PlayStation 3, but I don't know if they'll remember that, and so they've had a lot more time with the PS4, and I think that they will probably think of that as their first console.
Kind of similar to how I think of the NES as my first console, because my memories were so young on the Atari that. I mean, I know I did stuff. I know I played the games, but yeah. So we also Alex Wooten mentioned Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
and
Chrono Trigger's great.
Chrono Trigger's another great game. I think that I'm surprised here that we didn't have, because we have a wide range of listeners where we have obviously people mentioning Atari games, people mentioning Super Nintendo games. No one mentioned the N64, the PlayStation 2. I think Christian's first console was the PlayStation or PlayStation 2, I think.
Maybe.
But we have some people who are on the younger side, so their first console was one that we played in either high school or middle school or in sometimes college.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of those commented on here, because I would like to hear. I'd like to hear their feedback on this. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So Christian, let us know in the comments, because you didn't tweet to us or anything. But
yeah, come on.
Guys, let us know in the comments what your favorite game was on your first console. We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.